kick off Super Saturday's triple header in the nation's capitals. Red Blacks host the Argos in a battle of teams looking to move forward after disappointing seasons in 2025. Ottawa opened up at home with a loss against Edmonton. They had a bye. They're ready to go. Toronto in a shootout against the Alouettes coming up short, but positive signs, I think, from the return of Chad Kelly.
Yeah, absolutely. I think pleasant. I don't want to call it a surprise, but certainly I think exceeding maybe even his own expectations. Chad Kelly, for the first time in over a year, seeing playing time and throwing for 445 yards against that Alouette defense. Jake Maier made his Ottawa REDBLACKS debut, of course, opening the season as the starter for this team after coming over from Saskatchewan. Put up 230 yards in that one.
Ryan Dinwiddie against his former club. He went 51-35 as the head coach of the Argos. Made the playoffs in 4 of his 5 seasons there, just 5-13 last year. And Mike Miller on the other side looking for his first win. Was the quarterback coach for Dinwiddie for 4 years. It's now his team to run. Ottawa will have the ball to get us started. Pimpleton and Adeboboye back, awaiting the game's opening kickoff. Both of these teams winless on the campaign. They split the season series each of the last 2 years, and we're underway. Triple header action here in the Canadian Football League, and it'll be Pimpleton to get us started at the 15. Back to the 30. Hangs on to that ball, takes it out just beyond the 35-yard line, and that is where Jake Maier will go to work.
Again, Jake Maier, former starter with the Calgary Stampeders, spent last season backing up Trevor Harris with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Earned a Grey Cup, but I think more than that, what Jake Maier took away was really learning a lot in terms of leadership from the veteran Trevor Harris. Brings that with him to the Ottawa REDBLACKS offense.
They'll start it on their own 37, and they'll start it on the ground. And a short pickup. Let's take a look at this Ottawa starting offense.
Yeah, along the offensive line, the #1 overall pick in the 2026 CFL draft, Gio Vaccaro, makes his second career start at right guard. This team building through the draft. Keelan White led all CFL rookies in receiving last year. We expect him to play a bigger role in the REDBLACKS offense this season.
Greg Bell making his debut for Ottawa as well, brought in the offseason. Here's Maier, drops back, hit as he throws, down the field, intercepted just inside the 35. Taken away, James Caesar's got his first CFL interception. Not the start that Jake wanted.
Well, and you mentioned it, Dustin, Jake Maier getting hit as he throws the football. He can't step into that throw. Predictable result. It ends up.
Happy Father's Day, Pops. I love you, man.
Underthrown Jonathan Kongbo. Among those supplying the pressure, ball comes up short. Caesar playing a little center field.
Good job to get his hands under that one right before it hit the turf. And they'll hand it off to Hicks to get it started for the Argos. Here's a look a little bit more on Chad Kelly.
Yeah, Kelly, of course, a former CFL MOP. Missed the entire 2025 season after suffering a leg injury, serious leg injury in the 24 East Final.
He has won 20 of his 26 career starts. Back on the ground again. And Hicks pushing it ahead. He'll be just short of a first down. Should be third and about a yard.
Toronto Argonauts clearly looking to establish that ground game early. Set the line of scrimmage, let the offensive line develop a little bit of confidence.
And Kelly will keep it. Just needed the 45. Looks like he got it. Let's take a look at this Argos offense.
Yeah, along the offensive line after the injury to Randolph last week. Brandon Kemp, former Hamilton Tiger Cat, steps in at right tackle. You know, Mackay Polk, part of a pretty good veteran group in that receiving corps. So we'll probably be talking a little bit about the new face, Tyler Coleman, along the way. Big game for him a week ago with over 100 yards.
Polk was targeted 12 times last week, had just 4 catches. There's a quick one into the hands of Ungerer, who had 65 yards and a touchdown last week.
Yeah, just a quick hitter here. Ungerer coming out of the slot. Starts off on a slant, recognizes zone, and just settles it down. Doesn't run himself into coverage. Allows Chad Kelly to get that ball out of his hands quickly.
Good for 18 yards. And Toronto in business here early in this one. 1st and 10 from the Red Black 46. Ottawa will send 5. And Mital's got his first of the game on a connection from Kelly. Let's take a look at this Ottawa defense.
Yeah, Ottawa busy in free agency. Targeting those former Saskatchewan Roughriders. Habakkuk Baldonado comes over. The global starts at defensive end. A.J. Allen, monster season last year as the will linebacker. Alonzo Adai, after an injury-shortened 2025, returns to resume his spot at free safety.
Kelly will keep it again, and they'll move the chains. Took a pretty good bump along the way. Niles Morgan got a piece of him. 580 days between games for Chad Kelly. Stormed onto the scene in Montreal last Friday night. They'll go back on the ground once again. Sam Hicks had 9 carries last week, 53 yards, 5.9 yards per carry, and they're getting him involved very early in this one.
Yeah, and the run game was kind of a challenge for the Toronto Argonauts in 2025. And obviously Mike Miller, the quarterback coach under Ryan Dinwiddie last year, but you know, you sometimes look at moving into a bigger role, having a bigger say in the offense, and this is clearly something that he felt they needed to do a little bit better.
Only averaged about 51 yards per game on the ground last year. Through the air here, a completion down inside the 10. Mital again, he's got his second of the drive.
Kevin Mital working as the inside slot on this one. And, you know, you get a sense of the size and strength of Mital on this one. I mean, this is a guy playing as a receiver, runs very well, but he's built like a running back. And you see it after the catch. I mean, not that he's like running over people on this one, but unaffected by contact as he goes to catch that ball.
Kelly, with some blocking, takes it down inside the 5. And the Argos knocking on the door with 9 minutes left in the first.
And we certainly saw versus Montreal that Chad Kelly really showing no signs of rust after essentially a year and a half since his last start. But I think one of the other keys is just from a mental point of view, no hesitation to tuck that ball and run either and take a little bit of contact.
2nd and goal from the Ottawa 3 for Kelly. Looks to his right, throws, he's got it, touchdown Toronto! Mackay Polk's got his first of the season, and the Argos execute perfectly on the opening drive.
Precision, execution from the Toronto Argonauts as they march the ball down the field on this opening drive. Establish the run game a little bit. A few quick hitters for Chad Kelly on that one. Now it'll be interesting to watch as this game unfolds, given the success they've had with the run and the short game. Eventually you get those defenders creeping up and trying to open up a deep shot.
Arlahu makes no mistake that Toronto leads 7-0 here midway through the first. It's a 10-play, 75-yard drive that took just over 5 minutes, finished in the hands of Mackay Polk.
The Toronto Argonauts offense gets it going right out of the gate. Chad Kelly spreading the ball around. They get Had a couple of early runs with Sam Hicks, and then a series of quick hitters. Kelly using his legs to set it up in close. Finishing with the touchdown strike to Mackay Polk.
Polk had a couple of touchdowns last year after returning to the Argos. Averaged over 8 targets a game when he rejoined the club. Thought they might have been a little bit off last week on the connection from Kelly to Polk, with just 4 completions on 12 targets. Positive sign here in this one. Kelly goes 4 of 4 on the game opening drive for the Argos for 52 yards. And now Pimpleton picks his way out to about the Ottawa 45, still going. Pretty much every player on the field was involved in that one. Full-blown rugby scrum as Jake Mayer won. And the Red Blacks, 4 turnovers. Not going to say it cost them the game because there were other issues, but it certainly didn't help.
Dustin, it did not. But quite honestly, we talk about this all the time. I mean, there are certain statistics that matter and certain ones that are just numbers, right? Turnovers is one that, on a pretty consistent basis, matters.
Well, you have to think the message this week would have been, hey, don't turn the ball over. And then they turn the ball over to start the football game. Not ideal. We'll see if Jake Mayer can dial it in here. They'll start it on the ground once again, and nowhere to go that time against this Toronto defense.
On a Toronto defense that brought back some familiar faces in the offseason. Ralph Hawley, after an NFL stint, returns in free agency this year. Darius Pickett, Ottawa's top defender a year ago, makes his return to the double blue. Deshaun Amos, after spending some time with the rival Hamilton Tiger Cats, repatriated as well.
Pickett, a couple of years here in Ottawa, 84 tackles last year, and now some flags will fly. Big pick.
Legal procedure, Ottawa number 68, 5-yard penalty. It remains 2nd down.
So this one's going to go against the rookie Giordano Vaccaro. Just twitched a little early, seeing some movement on that defensive line, maybe anticipating a stunt, trying to make sure he was in position.
A 2nd and long for Mayer. 3 options out to his left. Looks to his right, dumps it off to his running back. Runs into some traffic at the 50. And Bell is wrapped up there. D'Arcangelo in on the tackle for Toronto.
That 2nd and long situation. You know, trying to take advantage of a defense geared up to get after it in the pass rush with a variation of the screen there, bubble out to the running back, but Argos do a good job containing it, coming forward to make the play.
Booted away from the 40, high towering kick. Grant waits, takes it just outside the 10, wants to kick it to the outside. They'll go high on him and eventually force him out of bounds after a 47-yard kick. Chad Kelly returned to the CFL healthy last week. Picked up where he left off. Well, it was 580 days between games for Chad Kelly. And he returned with a bang, 445 yards last Friday night in Montreal. 3rd time in his career he's hit 400. The other 2 times against Ottawa.
Yeah, and obviously off to a quick start here. No big strikes yet for the Toronto Argonauts, but Kelly looking to be in fine form. It's as if he's trying to make up for lost time.
Chatted with him last week. He's changed his diet, felt like it's changed his body. Feeling great, returning to the lineup on the ground again to Hicks. And he'll be wrapped up by A.J. Allen, the former Rider.
Yeah, I thought A.J. Allen was one of the top free agents on the market, quite frankly, last offseason. Canadian linebacker out of the University of Guelph. A guy who over the course of his career has basically worked his way from being a practice roster guy to being a special teamer, to forcing his way onto the field as not just a full-time starter, but really becoming an impactful player for the Riders on their way to the Grey Cup last season.
Drafted in 2020, practice roster in 21. In the mix the last 4 years. And there's Niles Morgan, who was also picked up in the offseason. Really reworked things defensively here. Yeah,
Niles Morgan doing exactly what they brought him to do. Led the way with 7 tackles for this defense against Edmonton in the season opener. And there you see him bringing the energy, flying all over the place here to get a big stop for the Ottawa REDBLACKS, a chance to get decent field position here to start their 3rd possession of the ballgame.
Morgan had back-to-back 100 tackle seasons in Edmonton. Haggerty kicks this away. That'll hang up there. It's going to drop right at midfield. And a flag as Pimpleton takes off. Pimpleton trying to find some space all the way across the field. And they will wrap him up and force him out of bounds. Smith and Goss in on the special teams tackle there. As Niles Morgan making an impact early in this one defensively for Ottawa.
Dinwiddie upheld his promise and hired Miller to join the Argos in 2022. Of course, the two were close than ever before, and when they spoke about the relationship this week, they both got emotional, thinking back to those early discussions of Miller's cancer diagnosis in 2023. Dinwiddie was one of the first guys he ever told. This is a friendship rooted in trust and loyalty as we see these two go head-to-head today.
Dwayne, it's got to be hard enough not working together anymore, but now going head-to-head here early in the season, both your teams desperate for a win.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost, you know, so much focus on what they need to do, trying to get off to a good start in this young season, that, yeah, you can't spend any time worrying about your buddy over there and any struggles his team is having.
Jake Mayer finding Pimpleton, and Ottawa able to move the ball efficiently.
And nice decision there from Jake Mayer, recognizing that he's got the defensive end crashing down, so he's going to hold on to that football instead of handing it off.
Mayer hit as he throws as Toronto brought the house, and he was able to drop it in to Justin Hardy. Oh, they brought everybody, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be one of the keys. As you see the pressure coming, Jake Mayer does exactly what he needs to do, which is, if they're going to leave themselves a little bit exposed in terms of coverage by trying to pressure the quarterback, you got to make those completions to get them out of that pressure package. So not big in terms of yardage, but big in terms of the chess match with the success on that play for Mayer and the Ottawa offense.
Quick 5 yards. Mayer gets this one away, and there's flags that fly. He was looking for White. Falls incomplete. We'll pick up the penalty.
Now White trying to adjust back outside to squeeze that ball.
Offside. Defense. 5-yard penalty. It will remain 2nd down.
And there you see a Darius Pickett, number 6, trying to time it up. Just a little bit early on that one.
2nd and inches. Gino Lewis to the bottom of your screen. Justin Hardy at the top. Mayer looks to his left, throws to the end zone. Got it, drops it in there. Aiden Eberhardt's got his first touchdown with Ottawa, and the REDBLACKS find a response.
You're going to see a beautiful toss here from Jake Mayer. Watch. Eberhardt working to the corner. Knows he's got his defender playing that inside leverage, so he presses to the inside. Gets the defender to bite. Quick break to the outside. Massive separation. Mayer puts it on him. First score of the game for the Red Blacks.
They're out to tie this thing at 7 late in the first quarter. First of a triple header on TSN today, and that is good. And we're deadlocked. Eberhardt, former BC Lion, fitting in nicely here with the Red Blacks.
Yeah, we saw him catch a lot of balls down the rail, lining up on the outside with BC, but here you're going to see Eberhardt working out of the slot. He's going to work to the corner. You'll see how the defender is playing inside out on this one. In this part of the field, he's going to protect the inside. A little stem in the route to the inside, gets the defender to open his hips a little bit, and that split second. Robert Priester in coverage is what allows Eberhardt to gain that separation. Make that a relatively easy completion for Jake Mayer.
You already know, baby.
Jake Mayer opened the game with an interception. He's now 4 of 5 for 46 yards and a touchdown, so he's bounced back nicely after the early turnover.
Yeah, and this is one of the big things, I think, for Jake Mayer with an Ottawa team that, you know, has struggled obviously the last couple of seasons, and I don't want to call it a rebuild because it's not necessarily that in terms of personnel, but a team that is trying to climb its way back to the top. I think Jake Mayer's even keel personality will serve them well.
Grant on the return, stopped just short of the 30.
We've seen Mayer under pressure a few times early in this ball game, but they made a couple of plays versus that pressure, that time getting pretty good protection, allowing him time for the route to develop. You see the accuracy of the throw that results.
Already had some pretty good weapons. If Eberhardt can continue to develop, Jake's going to have no shortage of guys to throw the ball to. Kelly, quick completion. He's a perfect 6 for 6 to start this game as he goes back to Mackay Polk.
Well, quarterback play, certainly one of the stories of the first few weeks of this young season, Dustin.
4 guys on the plus side of 400 yards last week. 2nd and 3 here for Kelly. He was one of them. Right over the middle. Gunned it in there. Vital hung on. And it's close to a first down.
Just going to see Vital. Sees his quarterback on the move. He's just trying to work to an open spot, get in Kelly's line of vision after sitting it down initially, coming off the line.
Had just enough. They'll give him a fresh set of downs on the Toronto 39. Kelly on the run to his right, wants to go deep, heaves one down the field. Got it just inside the 25 as he finds Ungerer. And Kelly with a big-time completion.
Well, we thought with a lot of success in the quick game early that they were going to try and open up something deep, just a matter of time. Kelly airs this one out. You see him waving it deep, putting everything he's got into that one. Nice adjustment by Dave Ungerer to come underneath and get this one.
Good for 47 yards into the waiting arms of Ungerer. Kelly gets it away, end zone, touchdown! Coxie, it's first of the season, and the Argos strike again.
Maybe everybody should take 580 days off between games.
If this is what happens, yeah.
Chad Kelly on fire to start this 2026 season. Coxie out wide on this one, the one receiver. just beat the defender clearly.
It's a veteran
untouched
too.
Off the release.
Samira Houston just sort of stood there.
Yeah.
So Ottawa gets on the board. The Argos, though, waste no time. Deep shot to Ungerer, and then a 24-yard touchdown pass to Devontae Coxie. Coxie and Polk last week targeted 19 times, only caught 6 of them. They both have touchdowns so far this afternoon.
Coxie, one of the most prolific receivers in the Canadian Football League over the last couple of seasons. Terrific chemistry with his quarterback, Chad Kelly.
What's up, Kai? Malachi Z.
Averaged just over 85 yards per game in the 10 that he played last season.
That's what I'm fucking talking about, baby. Let's go! Let's go!
You mix in Ungerer with Mital and Polk and Coxie. Chad Kelly could have a pretty big season lined up for Toronto. There's what Coxie did last year. Its full season would have projected out to 86 catches, over 1,500 yards, and 11 touchdowns.
Yeah. Yeah, not bad. A threat at any time to go the distance. A guy with
came in at number 43 on our TSN top 50. Might have been a little low.
I was going to say, I don't want to criticize the top 50 because I refuse to vote on the top 50.
You can do that?
But
a return just outside the 40.
But yeah, that was too low. Yeah. Take a look at the most recent Toronto Argonauts scoring drive. Kevin Mital working underneath, and the ball to Dave Ungerer, who goes and gets it. And it's almost as if before the Red Blacks D has a chance to get their feet back under themselves. It's that quick strike to Coxie in the end zone.
How's that for a start? 9 of 9 for 128. Couple of majors. Jake Mayer bouncing around the pocket, and that one incomplete. Tried to go back to Eberhardt, and he could not hang on to that one. Excellent start here in the nation's capital. Argos came up just short against Montreal last week, but they hang 14 on Ottawa in the first quarter, and they have a 7-point lead in the first of 3 on TSN today. Some offensive fireworks in the opening quarter. The Argos with a 14-7 lead on the Red Blacks, 128 passing yards for Chad Kelly already in this one. But a huge shout out to the Red Blacks for giving us a first-hand look at the new jersey. Kens, what do you think?
Yeah, hey, I've talked to a few fans about them. I've heard the words crisp. I've heard the words clean. I talked to a season ticket holder, Glenn, who said, I'm just glad these came around when this stadium got turf as opposed to back maybe when it was in the field. But you know me, guys, I'll never shy away from wearing a jersey on air here when we're covering CFL football. A nice, clean, white jersey. It's nice to see. You can tell the guys are leaning into it.
You know what I love about these? And we don't see the numbers on them here, but you can see the numbers on them
Easy to read
down
the
on the field. They have bright red numbers. That's how you do it.
Now, I do want to say to Ches and Milt back in the studio, I really wanted to put my jersey on. All right, but you know, Dustin and Kenzie, they're Team Enoch apparently, no jerseys. So I just went with the consensus.
All right, here's what happens: somebody screen caps us, and then all of a sudden we get accused of being biased. Look at these guys; they're wearing Ottawa jersey, but nice looking jersey, and they look pretty good from up here in the booth as well. That one over the head of Eberhardt, and that'll be incomplete. Dinwiddie not happy with this latest drive, that's for sure. A
couple of young veterans. Eberhardt working against Benji Franklin out there on the boundary side.
Looks as though we've got an Argo down on the field. Priester. He was here in Ottawa last year. Had a couple of interceptions, 27 tackles. A tackle and a knockdown in the season opener last week for Toronto, and we are going to step away as they take a look at the right leg of Priester. Well, welcome back to Ottawa. You don't want to see it. Robert Priester limping off the field with what we're told was a non-contact injury. And they're going to throw the tent over top of him. Look at the top of your screen there.
Yeah, very top left corner. See that leg kind of give on him a little bit.
Grant will take this punt at the 30. And he's hammered down after a short return. Kevin Mittal. How about the season he put together in 2025? 6th on the all-time Argos list.
And with some pretty good names joining him on that list. I remember that Mookie Mitchell showcase in 1998.
160.
Yeah, unreal. But yeah, Mittal in just his 2nd year last year out of Laval.
On the ground, Niles Morgan. All over Sam Hicks. 4th tackle of the game for Morgan.
Yeah, number 1 Morgan, left side of your screen, just shoots that gap, and then you see the dogged pursuit of the running back.
Morgan averaging 6 tackles per game in his career, behind only Solomon Elamimian and Sankey on the all-time list. And now with some pressure, Kelly gets hammered down. Aiden John all over him, and there's the flag on the field.
Yeah, Argo's trying to set up a screen here, but keep an eye on the hit coming from the defensive right side. Aiden John comes around the edge, gets that left arm up a little high, just under the face mask.
Intentional grounding. Toronto number 12. Second.
All right, so they call the intentional ground. It did look like the arm was up right around the neck.
Well, yeah, and that's what I assumed the flag was. It's interesting to me is it looked like the Argos were trying to set up they had a bubble screen look to the right, but then it still looked like they had the running back going the other way. In terms of the intentional grounding call, I thought that there was a receiver there, but.
So 3rd and 23. Haggerty will have to let her fly again. Pimpleton will take it at the 30. Back to the 40. A little bit of space to the 50. And not much further beyond that after a 59-yard kick. A good one from John Haggerty. Greg Bell trying to settle in, just a couple of touches so far here in his debut for the Ottawa REDBLACKS. Back to TD Place in Ottawa. We talked about some of the additions they made on the defensive side of the ball. Greg Bell, a big piece offensively that was also acquired this offseason.
Yeah, came over in free agency from the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Greg Bell rushing for over 1,000 yards last season, but I think one of the big keys when you look at Bell is the different ways in which he can hurt you, as he had over 60 receptions out of the backfield in black and gold last year. 62
catches for 426 yards, and they'll go on the ground to midfield here with Bell. When you look at this offense around Jake Murray, you really have all the pieces, right? You got a 1,000-yard running back, and then you've got Gino Lewis, who we haven't seen yet in this game. Justin Hardy, 1,000 yards again last season. Pimpleton, field stretcher as well. And then there's a lot of potential with White. And we already saw Eberhardt find the end zone here.
Yeah.
So offense should not be a problem, you would think.
Yeah, great at the skill positions. solidifying that offensive line with some offseason moves.
There down the field. Eberhardt, he's hammered, but he hangs on. He got popped just outside the 30. But he maintained possession. What a start to this game for Eberhardt.
Yeah, I love the concentration here from Aiden Eberhardt. He knows as that ball's hanging up there that he's kind of going into the teeth of the defense. He's going to take a hit, but tremendous concentration on the football to go up at high point and bring it home.
23 more yards for Mayer. This one broken up. He was looking for White. Let's take another look at that last play.
Eberhardt going airborne. He knows he's fully exposed as the defenders are closing on him. Still goes up, catches it in his hands. You see him immediately bring it to his body. Secure the football for a big Red Blacks completion.
That was McFadden with the hit. Now we've got a challenge. Looks as though Dinwiddie wants pass interference on that last target to Keelan White.
Ottawa is challenging the previous play for defensive pass interference. The play will be reviewed.
Full speed, thought maybe it was a little bit early, but we'll give you some looks at it here.
Get a sense of the timing. There's contact as the ball is en route. The Caesar kind of coming through the receiver. Trying to get a hand on that football. I think that arm sort of wrapped around the shoulders.
You can see why Dinwiddie would have thrown the challenge flag on this
absolutely.
one.
On that one.
I think we got a pretty clear look at what this is going to be. Should be a successful challenge, but Caesars had quite the start. 6 tackles last week, forced a fumble, had a knockdown, interception in this game already. Let's get the ruling.
Upon review, defensive pass interference against Ottawa number 28. The ball will be placed at the 15-yard line. Automatic first down.
Drive continues on the challenge from Dinwiddie. And now they'll work from the Toronto 15. 4 options out to the left for Jake Mayer. He's going to hand it off to Bell. Bell, spin move. Takes it down close to the 10, and it'll be second and manageable here for the Red Blacks offense.
Yeah, Greg Bell doing a pretty good job. A little bit of a cut back there, that spin to the inside. As he really presses the point of attack, gets the defenders flowing a little bit as they overcommit. He bounces it back north-south for a nice little first down gain.
Picked up 4 yards, second and 6 for Mayer. Hardy and Gino up to his right. Mayer waits. There's a flag on the far side. This is batted down at the line of scrimmage. And there's a flag sitting at the 5-yard line.
Offensive offside, Ottawa number 2. That penalty is declined. It will be third down.
As Justin Hardy jumped the gun.
Cam Judge, always something of a stats machine, whether it's been in Saskatchewan, Calgary, or Toronto. Second go around for him with the Argos.
Most outstanding defensive player on the Argos last year. 18-yard attempts for Lawther to make it a 4-point game. And he makes no mistake. Ottawa with points on the board. The 2026 FIFA World Cup continues tomorrow as Spain takes on Saudi Arabia at noon Eastern. Belgium will face Iran at 3 Eastern, followed by Uruguay versus Cabo Verde at 6 Eastern. And then the day will wrap up at 9 Eastern as New Zealand will take on Egypt. You can watch all these matches, as everyone is, on TSN, CTV, and Crave. Toronto gets the ball back on their 40. Kelly 9 of 9 so far in the game. Now drops this one over the top. Great touch. And they're inside the 40 as he goes back to Kevin Mittal.
Well, these two made it look easy as Kelly just sort of began his scramble. You see him start to his left and step up. Recognizes that Mittal has a step on his defender and just drifts it up there. Lets Mittal run under it. 33
more yards. The Mittal. Now he's pressured and he'll be taken down. They finally got home. Aiden John with the sack.
See Aiden John coming from the top of your screen. Just a nice redirect there as he runs the tackle upfield. Cuts back underneath to make a play on the quarterback.
Kelly sacked just once in Montreal last week. First time he's been sacked here today. Sets up a 2nd and 17. He'll have 3 receivers to his wide side right. Looks over the middle, bouncing around the pocket again, on the run to his right. And he's got a man held on to, and that should be enough for a first down at the 25 as Kelly will pick himself back up off the turf once again.
That's Aiden John. Delivers the hit on Chad Kelly. 93 White, a little bit of a nemesis for the Argos quarterback here in the second quarter.
Rough ride on this drive from Kelly. Finds Copsey on that one. Now then we'll give it to Hicks. Hicks kicks it to the outside. Cuts it in at the 10. And they will take him down. But another first down for the Argos as the offense marches on with 17 more.
Yeah, nice bounce to the outside here from Hicks. Little lateral step as he gets things closing down in the middle. We get a little bit of a feel for his speed, taking that to the outside. Nice block by, I believe it was David Unger on the outside.
And another tackle by Niles Morgan. First and goal from the Red Black 8. Kelly steps up, pitches it off. And a short gain on that one as he goes to his running back, Sam Hicks.
Second down.
Ottawa getting pressure at times on Chad Kelly, but Kelly's poised. A guy who's been around, obviously stint in the National Football League before joining the Argos. MOP season here with Toronto.
From the 7, tight window, has a completion. Tyler Common's first catch of the ball game. And now Chad Kelly will work from the 2. They'll move quickly here. Kelly steps up under center, pushing ahead. Can he find a lane? No! Driven back, ball pops out, whistle blows. Kelly's helmet knocked off again, and the Red Blacks defense holds.
Yeah, Ottawa defense was all over that one. Terrific recognition and reaction as the Argos tried to catch them off guard.
Massive stop by the Ottawa defense as they hold strong in the goal line. Welcome back to Ottawa. 6th tackle of the game for Niles Morgan is a big one. Goes right over the top here to stop Kelly. Kelly was not happy. His helmet got ripped off. He's clearly angry.
And Kelly wondering if that was a face mask, perhaps, that led to his helmet being pulled off, but officials in position felt otherwise. Red Blacks ball.
Drive will start on their one. On the ground they go. And Bell able to push it ahead, maybe a yard on the play. They might give him 2. They'll give him 1, and it'll be 2nd and 9 from the 2.
Yeah, just desperately trying to get a little bit of breathing room here, obviously starting in their own end. Now you get in a tough position. 2nd and long from this situation is, you know, you think of it as a passing down. Obviously you worry about dropping back from the point of risking giving up a safety, but also the goalpost limit, where you can go with a throw, right? So you're kind of playing with half the field here.
Argos send for Jake Mayer, lays one out near side. First time today we've seen that man. Gino Lewis, the officials will discuss. And Gino hauls it in.
Yeah, Mayer just lays it up. Bread and butter territory for Gino Lewis. A bang-bang play along the sidelines.
Mayer quickly out to the 35, back to Eberhardt.
A big 2nd down conversion there for Gino Lewis to give the Red Blacks a chance.
He's one of those guys that makes that catch and you're not even blown away because
Yeah.
he just made so many of them.
Yeah, he has kind of owned the sidelines over the course of his career.
Just another day at the office for Lewis. His first catch of the game is a big one. He went for 29. Now it's a 2nd and 5 on their own 36. Mayer was looking for Whites. Argangelo was there, and he broke it up.
Isaac Darkangelo worked his way into a full-time role in that Argos linebacking core last year. That grows even more with Winton McManus having moved down the highway, opening up that middle linebacker spot.
Ottawa will have to punt it away, but they did manage to give themselves some breathing room. And that ball will bounce out. Well, the fun continues as Super Saturday rolls on here at the triple header. Alouettes and Elks, the battle of the unbeatens, coming at you from Commonwealth in Edmonton, where I believe it's raining heavily today. And then the Rough Riders and the Stampeders. Looking forward to that one as well to wrap the triple header later on tonight. From Calgary, the defending champs finding a way to get it done against BC last week. An ice cream day here in Ottawa. Where's ours?
I was going to say, it's always ice cream day.
Here's Kelly over the middle, and that's intercepted. Red Blacks will take it away. Alonzo Adai, thank you very much.
Well, being bold, throwing the ball with confidence, ripping it into tight space is a big part of Chad Kelly's game. But here he may overreaches trying to force that one down the middle. You see how many white jerseys were surrounding Kevin Mittal in this situation. Alonzo Adai, the safety. Red Blacks so happy to have this guy back in the lineup.
Hey, baby boy, hey, baby girl, I see.
4 minutes left in the half. Jake Mayer gets the ball on his own 47 after the Kelly interception. Chad threw one last week against Montreal, and he's thrown another one here also at midfield, similar to the play from last Friday night.
You know, Lewis working from outside. This time set up the hitch, try and get the convoy in front of him. nice job in pursuit. You see Gino's career numbers tops among active players in terms of yards.
Mayer down the field, who almost returned the favor the other way, trying to find Eberhardt. Caesar all over him. And it'll be 3rd and 6, and they'll be forced to kick it away.
Hey, go pencil him.
Well, coming off the goal line stand and turnover. You know, the Ottawa REDBLACKS doing very well, quite frankly, just to get the yardage they got and not just hand it back to the Argos, punt it back to the Argos out of their own end zone, give them a short field. So no points, but a successful drive nonetheless.
Grant takes it at the 20. Flag does fly for the no yards there. And we've hit the 3-minute warning at TD Place in Ottawa. It's the Argos with a 14-10 lead on the REDBLACKS.
Saturday is off to a super start. And yes, we've shed those REDBLACKS jerseys. Davis, looking good?
Thanks, Laura.
You got it, buddy. All right, the halftime's coming up. More on this first half. Plus, we'll look ahead to Game 2 between the Owls and the Elks.
Shout out to Laura and the panel. They're locked in for a long one today. The old triple header.
Yeah, they love that though.
Oh yeah, they always say they wish they always had triple headers. Toronto starts on their own 35 on the ground. Couple of yards at best. As they go back to Hicks, his 7th carry of the ball game. He's got some good burst to him though.
Yeah, definitely shown flashes again. The ground game, not a strength for the Toronto Argonauts a year ago. So the offseason sees a couple of tweaks to the offensive line and some brand new faces in the backfield.
Pressure in his face. Looked like that was batted down. Raided the line, and it falls incomplete.
You had the linebacker, C.J. Rivas, blitzing there. Isaiah Smith in protection was working his way over to get to him, but just not in time to get the hands down.
Another one of those big pickups in the offseason. Haggerty will kick it away once more. Low kick this time, takes a bounce, gets right past Pimpleton. Now he's got to go after it. And that'll bounce right into the end zone. And Pimpleton is going to take it out. Like he was setting up to take the knee there.
Yeah, and first of all, I love the kick because the end-over-end thing, this is something Haggerty does on purpose to get the roll, get the ball on the ground, and get that roll. Backs Pimpleton up. But again, CFL game is such a game of field position that in this instance,
well, and that's not a guy who's in his first game returning.
Yeah.
But those guys should know too. Well, that's an interesting decision from a guy who's been returning kicks in this league for a couple of years.
Sort of see, I think, the surprise from veteran special teams coordinator Jeff Reinbold.
So this drive will start on the 4. Eberhardt's got it, pushes it ahead. He's got a first down with just over 2 minutes on the clock. That'll go for 15.
Eberhardt. You know, so many of the balls in BC were going to go to Justin McInnes. We're going to go to Keon Hatcher. Eberhardt made a number of big plays last year. Certainly kind of announced his arrival to the league, so to speak. But I think Ottawa envisions a bigger share of the pie for him here.
Well, and he's getting it today. He's been targeted 7 times. Hardy, Lewis, Pimpleton combined have only been targeted 5. So they're definitely looking in the direction of Aiden Eberhardt out of Wyoming.
Again, another one of those significant free agent acquisitions in the offseason.
They were busy, weren't they?
They were.
Well, that's what happens when you struggle the way they did last year. Just 4 wins. New coach and a bunch of new faces. 2nd and 6 on the 23 for Mayer. Argos only send 3. Jake's got some time. Still pressure though, and he's going to be taken down. 3-man rush. Still gets home. Ojo's got his first of the season.
Jeremiah Ojo, first-round pick for the Toronto Argonauts last season from the Montreal Carabins program. Very athletic defensive end, getting a little more time in that D-line rotation after contributing primarily on special teams last year.
27.
Edmund from his 5. That's a good kick. He's going to back Janarian Grant up. He's going to try to bounce it back though. Finds it 50. And he gets right to midfield. Nice return there from Grant. Now you think at least a field goal attempt in the cards here for Haralahu. Probably have to get to about the 49 to get into his range. He was 3 of 5 last week after going 89% last year. Kelly, and that's broken up. Played well, and Brown reaches over the top and bats it away.
Yeah, terrific break to the football here by Shakur Brown. And flag down. Wonder if upon review, much for Brown coming off the corner, top defender on your screen.
Toronto is challenging the previous play for defensive pass interference. The play will be reviewed.
It's kind of similar to the one we saw the other way. Got there a little bit early, contact as you're reaching through to try to get the ball.
Yeah, I felt like maybe a little less contact and a little better timed was this play by Brown, but tough to say. So we'll get another look here. Oh, that left arm, you're
grabbed the shoulder,
right.
didn't he?
Yeah, same thing.
Grabbed the shoulder and reached over the top. From what we saw earlier, you'd have to think that this one is probably going to be a successful challenge. Don't want to jump the gun, but we'll give you another look at it. You can decide for yourself at home.
Yeah, top of your screen. Brown coming downhill. The slow motion replay probably doesn't do the defender a favor in this case.
You know, if he doesn't grab the shoulder, if he just jumps around him, it's a clean play, but he sort of grabbed the left shoulder to propel himself around. Yeah.
Yes. Defense attorney would look to suppress that evidence.
Upon review, there was defensive pass interference on Ottawa number 9, a 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
These two friends and head coach going back and forth on the challenges. Anything you can do, I can also do, and that's what was accomplished there by Mike Miller. Keeps the drive moving on the Ottawa 45, 69 seconds left in the half. Kelly gets this one away, and that falls incomplete.
Another one where he takes a shot as he tries to step into that throw.
They've been getting there, haven't they?
They have. It seems here in the second quarter, the heat getting turned up a little bit on Chad Kelly.
A 2nd and 10 for the Argos. Flags here. A receiver was early. Common's got it, but I believe he's the one who's going to be flagged on the play. Had 106 yards last week.
Toronto number 82, 5-yard penalty. We're going to replay second down.
It is Tyler Common.
You can see Common working out of the slot, but a little bit early. Clear on the line of scrimmage.
Had 6 catches last week, a touchdown as well in his CFL debut. Would like that one back. And it's 2nd and 15 for Kelly. Inside a minute on the clock here in the second quarter. And he'll dump it out to Isaiah Smith. Smith pushes it ahead, stays on his feet, and he rumbles down for a first down close to the 30 on his first touch of the game and goes for 20 yards.
Yeah, Smith, the rookie, starts off in that backfield, swinging out to your right. Nice job sidestepping that first would-be tackler in C.J. Rivas. Get north-south second-round pick out of the University of Guelph.
11th overall.
Yeah.
Kelly drops it in there at the 10. He went right back to Common, and he's got this one.
Common lining up as a slot to the wide field. Here, lots of room to work. See the halfback bailing to go get over top on the outside route.
First and goal from the 9. Touchdown, Toronto! Right back to Tyler Common, and he's got his 2nd touchdown of the year, and a backbreaker late here in the half.
The thought running through my mind as we see the impact of Common here early in this 2026 season.
Huge, nice job.
Just about the depth of this Toronto Argonaut receiving corps. Considering that Jake Herslow hasn't even been in the lineup yet. Touchdown, Jake.
Well, and you look at the depth, you go, oh, he's the number 5 guy. But he's got 2 touchdowns already. Over 100 yards last week. This one's knocked through, and the lead is 11. Maybe start to get to know this guy a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. The greatest receiver in the history of Emporia State.
Holds all the records.
Yes.
It's in Kansas.
After a stint with the Colts last year, joined the Argos practice roster down the stretch. Opportunity over the offseason to learn the Canadian game a little more, and actually get a full training camp in up here, and he proving to be a quick study. Good size, about 6'2", 6'3", over 200 pounds. And obviously has earned the trust of his quarterback, Chad Kelly, here through the first few weeks of the season.
Well, and that's got to come from camp, right? Kelly's got to see a lot of things that he likes through training camp in the preseason to get him this involved this early.
Yeah, no question. You know, it's so important, the offseason work. When you think about a guy coming in partway through last season, you know, I mean, one of the things that stands out to me about today's CFL is how training camps have evolved. It's a short time, not a lot of reps, not a lot of live reps in particular, that you got to make the most of them to, as a new face, to earn an opportunity early in the season.
Pimpleton takes it just inside the 10. And he is going to be stopped at the 35 with 27 seconds on the clock. Gauthier with the special teams tackle. There's another look at that drive.
Yeah, third Argonauts touchdown drive of the ball game.
Great play by Smith there.
Yeah, getting some contributions from some of their young guys. No question. You expect to see Polk, you expect to see Coxie, obviously, but Isaiah Smith, Tyler Common figuring prominently in that last one.
6 plays, 55 yards, 40 seconds. Back to Eberhardt. Again, when you talk about early season connections, looks like Jake Mayer has one with the former BC Lion. That goes for 13. Five catches for Eberhardt. Argos send 4. Mayer has it batted down right at the line as that Toronto front pushing their way through.
Yeah, keep an eye up at the defensive left side. Andrew Chatfield, who got off to such a blistering start as a pass rusher last year in this Argo D, makes his way to get a hand on that one, creating a tough situation here for Mayer and the Red Blacks.
2nd and 10 as time ticks down in the half. Mayer, pressure coming again, gets it away, and it's all in. Down inside the 45 as he goes back to Eberhardt again.
Nice job, credit the offensive line to give Jake Mayer that kind of protection, give him the time he needs for that route to Eberhardt to develop.
So Lothar onto the field, made from 18 earlier. This will be from 49 to put some points on the board at the end of the half. Almost a decade with the Riders. Lothar up and through. And a big completion to Eberhardt. Sets up a field goal from Lothar. It's something to build on late there for the Red Blacks.
Yeah, strong finish. We've seen a little bit of adversity for Ottawa, particularly just the way Toronto keeps coming at them, but responding well to stick around and stay within a score in this ball game, pulling to within 8 with that Brett Lothar field goal.
Demonte Coxie, just 19 yards last week, only a couple of catches. He's got 2 catches, 43 yards, and a touchdown already here in the first half. His quarterback, 237, and 3 touchdowns as well. And Coxie standing by with Kenzie Lalonde.
Well, Devontae, we go back to last week, and at times the offense felt disconnected. This week, since the opening drive, very much in unison. What changed?
Nothing changed. You know, we just came to work this week again, you know, prepared and, you know, make sure we had everything going for this week.
You look at the depth of the receivers the Argos have this year. 3 different guys, 3 different touchdowns. How can this group use it to their advantage this season?
You know, we just got to keep coming out, practicing every day. And whenever we at the game, you know, we got to make sure what happened at practice translates to the game, you know. And once, you know, Coach been keeping us all, keeping our heads in check. So it's been smooth.
Best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you. Thank you.
Laura, over to you.
13 at the half. Their defense, despite allowing 21 points, playing pretty well so far in this one. Kenzie Lalonde standing by with Alonzo Adai.
Alonzo, we think of some of the big explosive plays defense have made so far in this game. How much momentum does that give you on to the second half?
Just got to continue to do the small things, do the right things, really. You know, the big plays will come when we're doing our job. So just focus on doing our job in the small things, and that'll lead to the bigger plays.
As you think of the small things, what might come to mind in terms of adjustments that you want to see here in this third quarter?
No adjustments, man. Our coaches are calling a great game plan. We got to go out there and execute. That's simple.
Okay, best of luck.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Guys?
Yeah, it's interesting. Like 21 points allowed, but goal line stand came up big, turnover on downs. They got the interception as well. I think they've actually been causing more issues for Chad Kelly than what I saw Montreal cause last week. So there's some positives to build on defensively. It's just a matter of, can the offense get the job done?
Yeah, try and close that gap, but they have certainly managed to, despite giving up some big plays, managed to keep themselves in this. You know, I mean, hopefully we'll have a chance to talk about it a little bit as this second half unfolds. But, yeah, I mean, Ryan Dinwiddie's ability to put Jake Mayer in the best possible position to succeed, I mean, it sounds like common sense in the CFL when you talk about a quarterback. But given the level of quarterback play we're seeing, what they're able to do with Jake Mayer is going to be absolutely critical for Ottawa's success.
It'll be Toronto to have the ball to start And they lead 21-13 as we are underway. Second half, game one, triple header. Super Saturday here on TSN. Grant takes it, assesses the situation. Now he finds a little bit of space, pushes it ahead, and takes it out beyond the Toronto 45. Here's a look at Chad Kelly in the first half of the ball game.
Well, Chad Kelly wasted no time in this one. Toronto Argonauts off a turnover, throws the touchdown pass. First to Polk, follows that up on the next possession, hitting DeMonte Coxey. Tyler Common in for his second major of the season in the second quarter.
Kelly, deep shot, early, drops it in there, held on to down inside the 10. What a start, it's Metal, he's got another one.
Well, I'll tell you what I absolutely love about this play is you think about Kevin Metal last season, over 100 catches, so many of them were bubble screens and things like that, close to getting him the ball close to the line of scrimmage. But this guy, in his college career, yeah, he could do all that stuff, but a great deep threat as well, and he came back this season knowing that that was what he wanted to do more of in the Canadian Football League, catching some people off guard in the early part of the season. Huge play.
56 yards. Now on the ground, up the middle. And the Red Blacks will stop Hicks before he can find the end zone for the first time in his CFL career. Kelly's at 293 yards already. At the half, he was on pace for 474, which would be a career high. And then he just tacked on 56 more to Metal.
A reminder, as we talked about earlier, 2 of the top 3 passing games in terms of yardage in Chad Kelly's career have been against the Ottawa REDBLACKS.
Yeah, REDBLACKS fans hate this guy. Second and goal from the 2. And that one stopped for a loss. Nowhere to go the moment he touched the ball for Sam Hicks.
Well, we saw the REDBLACKS with a big goal line stand in the second quarter of this ball game. This is another rather massive defensive play backed up in their own end. This Ottawa D, CJ Rivas, one of the several former Saskatchewan Roughriders on that REDBLACKS D, coming up with the tackle there.
Just a 12-yard field goal. Haralahu, never going to miss that one, puts it through. A big pass to Metal, but the REDBLACKS hold them to 3, and it's an 11-point ball game. 63 yards and 4 touchdowns last year, and he is fitting in well on his new club. Monster first half for Eberhardt. 6 catches, 94 yards, and a touchdown in what is already a very talented receivers room.
Yeah, but looking to establish himself here perhaps in the early going. You want to have a situation where anybody could be that guy on a given day, but I think Aiden Eberhardt with a new starting quarterback here in Jake Mayer figures the role of go-to guy is up for grabs, and he has put his hand up to volunteer in a big way here.
One of the other new pieces, Greg Bell, that's his 7th carry of the game. Just 15 yards so far, so Ottawa not able to get anything going with the ground attack so far here today, but Eberhardt certainly clicking through the air. 2nd and 8 for Mayer. 3 options out to his right. Looks to his left, throws in that direction, and at midfield, he's got a completion. It's Justin Hardy. Just his 2nd catch of the game, goes for 14 yards.
The veteran, Mr. Reliable, Justin Hardy. Good security blanket there, as you see Mayer kind of doing a quick run through his progressions before finding Hardy underneath.
Fresh set of downs, back on the ground, and Bell crushed on the play by a Darius Pickett. Here's some of the fine work of Justin Hardy during his REDBLACKS career.
Yeah, working on climbing that list. A little bit of a gap to the next guy up, and Greg Ellingson. Ellingson, of course, part of the Red Blacks Grey Cup Championship.
It'll be a 2nd and 10 for Mayer this time. Smack dab right at midfield. Bell flares out to his left. Mayer's going to go down the field, lays it out. There's a flag. It's intercepted. A flag on the field. It was taken away by Ethan John. His first career interception. We'll have to pick up what this flag was, though.
Ethan John into the game at safety in place of the injured Robert Priester.
Priester left with a non-contact injury in the first half. So John has slid into that spot. Still no word on the play, or on the penalty, I should say. Could be that contact there on Hardy from James Caesar, which would take the INT off the board.
Defensive pass interference, Toronto number 28. The infraction occurred at the 38-yard line. The ball will be placed, automatic first down.
You're going to see Hardy coming out of the slot here, bottom of your screen. It's the number 2 receiver, and it's just that in and up, the double move catches Caesar a little bit. He makes contact, impeding him ever so slightly.
Jake Mayer saw it, didn't he?
He did.
Right away.
Yeah.
Bell, nice cut. Would have been a tackle for a loss, but he's able to open up a little bit of room. Finds a couple of yards on first down.
Yeah, Bell changed directions on a dime on that one. Again, just getting the defense to flow front side on the play. Sticks his foot in the ground. Turns it back in.
2nd and 8 for Mayer. He's 12 and 19, 169 yards, touchdown, and interception way back on Ottawa's first possession of the ball game. Argo send 5, and they're going to get home, and they take him down. Mayer punished on the play by Jonathan Kongbo.
Jonathan Kongbo. You know, I talked a little bit earlier about the creativity exercised by the Toronto Argonauts in free agency this year, and you know, at a glance you may think, you know, didn't necessarily do a ton in free agency when you look at the list of free agents of guys who played in the league last year. But you get Shepley and Hawley coming back from the NFL. You get a guy like Kongbo, who I think has flown under the radar.
51-yard attempt is good from Lawther. A nice start to his Red Blacks career. Been an excellent start to the season for Mital. He's got 123 yards in this game. We're going to have more on him with Kenzie.
People can say that their first ever catch and touchdown in the CFL came in the Grey Cup, but that is part of Mital's story and what motivated him. He said after that Grey Cup win and catch, he went into the offseason more motivated than ever. He said he wanted to learn everything. He went to the gym harder than ever before. He studied harder than ever before because he wanted to show that he's a consistent playmaker in this league and that he can be relied upon. He followed it up with career-high numbers last season, so he wants to show that that catch and those numbers last year weren't a one-off.
Almost 900 yards last year, and I think you can say the consistency and the reliability is certainly going to be there.
Yeah, I think that he has established that. Obviously looking to expand his game, right? He had a fairly specific role within the Argos offense last season. But now third year, you know, I think third year is often kind of a big turning point year, growth year for a lot of players. Kevin Mittal obviously took a big jump in year 2, but I think that there's still more to the game for this former Heck Crichton winner.
123 yards already today. Kelly finds his running back, who will find midfield and go beyond as they go through the air to get Hicks involved a little bit more. It's his 3rd catch of the game, goes for 14 yards.
Yeah, Hicks just escaping from the backfield here. Free release, little circle route. And the Argos, you know, with Chad Kelly, we've talked a lot about the pressure since the second quarter of this football game. So let Chad Kelly get a play where he's able to get that ball out of his hands quickly and maybe change up the maybe awareness level, so to speak, of that defensive line, so they can't just pin their ears back, keep them honest.
Kelly's got his 10th 300-yard game, and we're only midway through the 3rd quarter. Hicks is up. He was down momentarily, bounces back up. Isaiah Smith into the game at running back. Smith had a great play earlier, 20-yard catch. Kelly, what a gun! And he finds Polk down inside the 30, and it looks like Alonzo Adai got the worst end of that collision.
Yeah, both guys kind of crumpled after this one, but Kelly standing in. Nice timing between quarterback and receiver. Get that completion. A little bit of a car crash in the middle of the field there between Polk and Adai.
Ottawa's bench, 10-yard penalty enforced from the end of the run, and a 1st down.
Objectionable conduct on the Ottawa sideline. We'll move that ball even further up the field. Be a 35-yard swing after you tack on the penalty.
Well, veteran Scott Hutter out of Wilfrid Laurier on in place of Adai at safety.
Back in the red zone go the Argos once more. Leading 24-16, 1st and 10 from the 17. Kelly to his right, end zone shot, got it again! Touchdown Toronto! This time it's Ungerer, and Kelly's thrown 4.
Well, we've seen Polk, we've seen Coxie, we've seen Common with touchdown catches in the first half of this ball game. It was just Dave Ungerer's turn to get one. Ungerer does a nice job, not the biggest guy, but goes up, does a good job protecting the football. Strong catch with contact coming from the defender to pull that one in. A guy who's just gotten better and better since moving over to Toronto from Hamilton in free agency. Career high for him in terms of yardage in 2025.
Aralahu makes it a 15-point ball game. Chad Kelly spreading it around. Common, Polk, Coxie, and now Ungerer's got his 2nd of the season. Welcome back. Earlier in the game, we saw Robert Priester taken off the field. For an update, let's send it to Kenzie Lalonde.
Yeah, so as we know, a leg injury at this time that the Argos are telling us, and that he won't return at the end of the 1st half. You can see Priester walking off the field with the crutches in that right leg in a walking boot. So not a sight Argos fans want to see at this point in the season, as we'll continue to watch how they backfill him over the course of the 2nd half.
Thank you for the update, Kenzie. Ethan John has filled those shoes so far. Here's Pimpleton. Spark from him would go a long way right now for this Ottawa club. Not going to happen. He'll find the 35, and that's where the Argos will jam him up. A big opportunity here for Ethan John.
Yeah, it certainly is. Ethan John, 2nd-round pick out of the University of Windsor. Not the biggest guy, but cerebral, competitive. And his as you've seen, demonstrated an ability to make plays. Great leader, hard worker. A lot of the talk about him coming out of U of Windsor. American-born, qualifies for national status by virtue of having played 3 years from Windsor and graduated from there.
Mayer in trouble, got away, found a man, but it goes nowhere as he found his running back, Greg Bell, who's been contained for most of the game. Once again, a Darius Pickett in on the tackle.
And Pickett, another one of those guys because of circumstance, that, as I talked earlier about the Argos free agent class, guy who doesn't show up on the list of what were pending free agents and then the free agent tracker, because he had been released by Ottawa, as they obviously loved him as a player but decided they wanted to allocate their salary cap space elsewhere into different positions.
Deep drop from Mayer, steps up in the pocket, and once again gets it into the hands of Eberhardt, who is covered well but able to hang on. He's going to be about a yard short, be 3rd and 1.
Mayer doing a nice job there, just buying a little bit of time.
No, go for it. I'm not sure they got it though.
There was not a lot of forward movement there.
Jake Mayer on the quarterback keeper, needed to get to the 46. And that ball's not going to be anywhere near the 46. And that's a turnover on downs as the Argos defense shuts the door. Dwayne said it best, not much of a push forward at all from Jake Mayer. Stopped in his tracks. Argo ball when we... Ryan Dinwiddie, 5 years as the head coach of the Argos, including a couple of Grey Cups along the way, was 51-35 with Toronto. Ton of success in a short window.
Yeah, you know, cutting his teeth as an assistant coach prior to that. Montreal initially, where he crossed paths first with Mike Miller and then in Calgary, but has made his mark as the head guy in Toronto. See where he ranked among some of the great Argo coaches historically in terms of those Grey Cup victories.
Taking on a different challenge here in Ottawa.
Yeah, adding the general manager portfolio to his title, obviously well supported by a veteran front office guy in Sean Burke, but having a little more say in some of the personnel decisions than he felt maybe at the end of his time in Toronto. Looking forward to helping shape the roster.
Kelly right over the middle again. Mittel's got it down inside the 15, and Chad Kelly is just picking apart the Ottawa defense this afternoon.
Yeah, and you just get a great look at the levels in coverage here and basically timing the throw as Mittel clears the linebackers, but before he gets to that second wave, essentially the defensive backs.
Now out to Mittel again, finds the 10, looking for the 5, and he's going to bully his way down close to the 5-yard line.
Things heating up a little bit down there.
Move this guy all over your offense. Had a carry last week for 6 yards in Montreal as well. 2nd and 3. Kelly this time hands it off. They'll push it down inside the 5. Looks like it'll be enough for a 1st and goal situation for the Argos.
Yeah, Sam Hicks back in the ball game with that carry.
Late flag coming out here. Little skirmish after the whistle. And they might be marked just short of a 1st down. officials will discuss this. Kelly still just has 3 incompletions today. He's 21 of 24, 382 yards, 4 touchdowns.
After the play was over, we've got a misconduct QR against Toronto. First, we're going to check if first down has been made.
All right, so they're going to measure for the first down, but here's a look at the penalty.
A little bit of pushing and shoving. Dakota Shepley getting into it with Niles Morgan a little bit after there had been some beaking back and forth between Morgan and DeMonte Coxey in the previous play.
Not even close.
After the play was over, unnecessary roughness, Toronto number 64. This is a misconduct penalty. We're going to move the ball back 15 yards from the end of the run, and it will be third down.
So that'll be a field goal attempt coming up for the Argos.
And you see the frustration for head coach Mike Miller as a dead ball foul and that unnecessary roughness penalty takes you out of a situation of being able to go for it when you're in pressing for a touchdown versus being forced to attempt the field goal.
26-yard attempt for Hau'olahu. And that one is right down the middle. It's a 18-point ball game here in Ottawa. The global phenomenon is back for a thrilling new season, and the war for the Iron Throne is about to ignite. HBO's House of the Dragon streams June 21st, only on Crave. I'm a little bit behind on that one. I watched the first season.
Okay, I was going to say, you read that promo like somebody who knew what he was talking about.
Well, I really liked the first season, and then, you know, kids and work, and we haven't been able to follow up on it, but
understood.
Love the original. Love the first season of that one. Got to get caught up on it. How can you not like fire-breathing dragons? Perfect. Mayer under fire here on the run, out to his right, dumps it over the top, too much on it, and that falls incomplete. Once again looking for the running back, Greg Bell.
Yeah, tough to get just the right touch on that one. Jonathan Kongbo again in hot pursuit. Mayer essentially has to kind of fade away from the line a little bit as he's trying to drop this one in over top of a defender to hit his running back.
We saw it last night in the Hammer. You can't settle for field goals against Bo Levi Mitchell right now, and I think I'd say the same thing here. You cannot settle for field goals against Chad Kelly.
Yeah.
Ottawa number 13.
Now a time count.
Remains second down.
Against the Red Blacks, and that leads to a round of boos here at TD Place. Just with
booze is endearing, not a round of alcohol.
Yeah, no, not yet. Second and 15 for Mayer. He'll have 4 receivers to his wide side right. Dumps it off as they try to set something up for Bell, and there's a flag on the play, a couple of them actually, one in the secondary and then one back. It looks like a hold against Ottawa as things go from bad to worse for the home team.
Ottawa number 61. That penalty is declined. Third down.
And right in the foreground of your screen, I would say that the grab on the front of the shoulder pads, the pull, the headlock. You know, borderline call. But
You're not going to get away with that one, you don't think? Sometimes I just wish they'd let the play do it. Not on that one. That was pretty clear.
Yeah.
Cut and dry.
The sleeper hold was a dead giveaway.
Short return there. We are just getting started on TSN today as Super Saturday will continue next as Edmonton will host the Alouettes as advertised. Montreal looks so far this year, and then the reigning champions, the Riders, will head into Calgary to face the Stampeders. Stamps coming in off a bye. And we'll see what they've got. Their defense starting to get healthy, and that'll change things for the Stampeders, I believe.
Big day in the CFL.
It's been a big day for Chad Kelly so far. He'll hand it off to Smith. Smith will push it ahead. He's a big back, 6'1", 230 pounds. Isaiah Smith. Bit of a different look from the 5'9", 190 of Hicks.
And here you'll see him lower the shoulder a little bit into contact. Bringing it.
Certainly not going to shy away. We saw him take a couple good blows on that 20-yard catch he had earlier in the game as well. Stands in to the right of Kelly. Kelly gets that one away, finds a hole in the defense. It's Mittal again, and he's got another first down. It's going to put him over 170 yards. What a day.
We asked Kevin Mittal when we spoke to him this week, as he lines up as the number 3 receiver out of the slot, out to that wide side. It's a little bit of a clearing route in front of him. Kelly finds him underneath, but asked him after a 100-catch season last year, what do you have planned for an encore? I don't know, maybe he has his eyes on that Mookie Mitchell Argo record, 160.
Back on the ground with Smith. Looks like they give him 9. I have to think one of the things, and he's off to a great start to the year, but 1,000 yards is certainly going to be within striking distance for him this year with a healthy Chad Kelly. Nothing against Arbuckle, who had a great year last year too, but Kelly looks to have a really good connection with Mittal.
Yeah, well, and it seems like, as we talked about early, as he opened this third quarter, catching the deep ball, you expect that to be a more significant part of his role within this offense as well. That, last year he had a ton of catches, but not a ton of yards relative, right, to the number of catches, as he was catching a lot of the underneath stuff and the bubble screens and so on. But you throw in a few more deep balls, and 1,000 is well within his reach.
Back-to-back 100-yard games to start the season. Second and short. They'll go back to the ground. And Smith's got a first down for Toronto with 30 seconds on the clock here in the third quarter.
Got to look at the work of that offensive line. Mittal as well, coming in to help out in that blocking scheme. Quick cut back to the outside.
This time wrapped up immediately. Carter read that well, was all over it. Nowhere to go for Smith that time.
The Argos worked their way into field goal range. Ottawa now having forced that second and long. They don't want to let this game get away from them. At this point, down 18. Don't want to risk giving up more than a 3 here.
Second and 10. Kelly over the middle again, and that is taken away. What a play defensively. Cormier, now it's out, bouncing around, and Ottawa gets on top of it. Jakir Brown, paying attention, found that ball and held on to it. Second interception of the game for Kelly. Went over the middle earlier, got picked off. This time, just a great play from Cormier, and Ottawa with some life here at the end of the third. This one leading 34-16, 404 passing yards for Chad Kelly through 3 quarters to win.
Back-to-back 400-yard games after missing all of last season. Terrific start for Chad Kelly. The Argos building a little bit of a lead in that third quarter as well, that you wonder if in this fourth they try to lean on the combination of Hicks and Smith in that backfield a little bit and take a little bit of heat off of Chad Kelly.
Now, he did just throw his second interception. Toronto has challenged this for pass interference. There's one look at it. Here's another one. Looks like that ball might have been intercepted before that tackle was made. Let's get the official ruling, as they've already taken their looks at it.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. First down, Ottawa. Toronto is charged, a timeout, and they're out of challenge.
So Ottawa has allowed 34 points in this game, but their defense has made some plays. Their offense has not been able to capitalize after those turnovers.
Yeah, this is it. Big opportunity here. They've got to make the most of it.
Got to turn the tide right here. That's not going to help. Pimpleton blown up. Judge was all over that from the moment that ball was snapped.
Yeah, and this is what makes Cameron Judge one of the most impactful defenders in the Canadian Football League. The guy does so many different things well. Just from the edge of the box, lined up as the weak side linebacker, but getting out to make the play on the receiver. Untouched. The recognition and the reaction to get there and make a huge play.
2nd and 11. Mayer lays it out. Incomplete. Eberhardt wanted a flag, and he got it.
And not much doubt on this one, as you could see. Eberhardt working from his wide receiver spot on this one, trying to break to the inside.
Defensive pass interference, Toronto number 35. The ball will be placed where the infraction occur. Automatic first down.
You can see Eberhardt from the outside, eventually breaking it in. And just as the ball is en route, collision occurs. Not convinced it was intentional, but nonetheless, he was kind of walled off from getting to the ball. You see the safety there, Ethan John. He's kind of watching the receiver, but not really aware that the ball was in the vicinity.
Well, can they take advantage of this? They'll lay it out, and that one incomplete. Pressure was coming. Jake felt it, threw it up to Gino in a one-on-one, but it was played well by McFadden.
I was going to say it was played well by Gino, who was in full DB mode on that one. Yeah.
McFadden had 6 interceptions last year.
Yeah, you'll see at the tail end of this when Gino's not about catching the ball, he's about making sure Tavares McFadden doesn't get to it.
Roll reversal for Gino Lewis. 2nd and 10 from the Toronto 32. Red Blacks got to get some points here. Mayer, end zone shot. Spectacular if he could have held on to that one.
Yeah, tremendous late adjustment to the football by Eberhardt. You get a great look at this one as Mayer's going to loft it up just right of that goal post. Eberhardt makes a hard cut underneath, goes airborne over top of John, who had slipped on the play. Just off the contact, couldn't quite contort his body in a way that allowed him to get his hands on it.
39-yarder from Lother, and that is good. But Ottawa still trails by 15. Eberhardt's had himself a day. Could not haul that one in.
And Pacific on TSN. That's golf, Dustin.
Wyndham Clark leads by 4. That's all I know. I don't got golf voice. Here's a completion up to midfield. How many times have we said that today? Chad Kelly has another 400-yard game against Ottawa. He's got 4 now in his career, 3 against the Red Blacks, and back-to-backs. to start the season. Kelly now hit, lays it out, and taken away again. Third interception of the game for the Ottawa defense. This time it's Scott Hutter. They just can't do anything with it once they get it back. And that's not good news. Mital is down, and they look at his right leg. Disastrous. 178 yards, 8 catches. He's been outstanding so far in this one. And as they look at him, we'll step away.
Well, for the rain coming down in Edmonton, Cody Fajardo and company looking to go 2-0 for the first time in 7 years. It's the Owls and the Elks. Kickoff just after 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 Pacific, 2 Mountain. Got them all in there as we send it back to Dustin and Dwayne.
Well, it's been an eventful afternoon for Kelly. He's thrown 3 interceptions. And the good news is that Mital walked off on his own. Here's another look at the interception. Hutter went up and got it. Pinball does not like it.
And he likes everything.
He is usually a very happy man. That's right. Problem is, as they go back to Greg Bell, is that despite all these turnovers, the Red Blacks offense has not been able to consistently move the ball.
And, you know, I started to talk about it a little bit earlier, but you think about the quarterback play in the Canadian Football League, and it is one of the things that really stands out this year. I mean, you've got a 9-team league in which 3 of the quarterbacks have been in the league since 2012. Veteran guys, Grey Cup champions, a collection of MOPs between them.
2nd and 4. Mayer one-on-one, far side. They got it to midfield. Needed that one, Pimpleton.
Yeah, and just to continue that thought, I mean, that's, you know, Bo Levi Mitchell, Zach Collaros, Trevor Harris, established star veteran players. You've got Nathan Rourke, who's been an MOP, Chad Kelly, who's been an MOP. You've got Cody Fajardo, who's been an MOP finalist and a Grey Cup champion. You know,
a lot of great quarterbacks all across the league. This time they'll get it to Hardy. Pickett there to wrap him up.
Yeah, just so much depth at the position that you're trying to keep up, right, with the scoring and veteran guys at that level. And obviously, as I mentioned, all those guys, I mean, that's overlooking Davis Alexander, who's never lost a regular season game.
He's also 13-0. Wide open. Eberhardt with the day he's had. How does that happen? Takes it down, up and over. And taken down just out of bounds. 27 yards for Eberhardt.
He's feeling it, you know, in this situation as he goes for the high hurdle. Got a little bit of that I could do anything today feeling, and he's done just about anything.
You know you're cooking when you're trying to jump over a man standing straight up. Here's Mayer, pump fake. Now he's going to lay one out. Broken up. Oh, he was looking for Pimpleton. But the Argos defense said, no, 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 not today. And they batted away.
And you're going to see the corner on that side, Benji Franklin. He's playing short initially, but as the ball gets in the air, he's going to drop off to help out his defender coming from the inside and make a play on that ball.
Second and 10. Mayer. Near side. Hardy wrapped up. Pickett was all over him. And that'll bring up 3rd down. Field goal team not heading on the field right now. 3rd and 6. Down by 15 with 9 to play.
That's it. Only so many possessions available. And you're the Ottawa REDBLACKS.
Tori, back up a bit.
struggling to really slow down that Toronto offense. So in this close, they got to take the opportunity to try and get a major.
3rd and 6 from the Toronto 16. Don't need the end zone. You need 6 to keep this drive alive. And flags fly.
Time count violation.
Oh.
Ottawa number 13. 5-yard penalty. It remains 3rd down.
Trying to draw him off.
Yeah.
Didn't work. Toronto held strong, and now they'll settle for another field goal attempt. 28-yarder. Oh, there's 4 for 4 today. This would be 5 of 5 just inside the right hash. And have yourself a day, Brett Lawther. Unfortunately, going to need 4 more of those to tie this thing up.
As it seems to be, they're relying on Lawther a little bit too much for the points at this stage.
Kelly has 5 incompletions. 3 of them went to the other team. We'll see if he can dial it in once more and maybe seal this away. They'll go on the ground to get us started. That's Sam Hicks. And Hicks will get about 3 yards on that 1st down carry.
And I'm not sure if playing it safe is really something that is in Chad Kelly's repertoire here, right? You think that they may want to slow it down, grind it out a little bit, keep that clock running, but you know, 24 completions, over 400 yards on the day. Chad Kelly wants to let it rip.
Ungerer out to the bottom of your screen, trips up to the top for Kelly. And he's got a completion. It's common. CJ Rivas made the tackle, and they're going to be about a yard short.
Yeah, a bit of a cluster look from the Toronto Argonauts. Tyler Common at the head of that. It's going to work underneath.
Oh, this is close. Needed to find the 50. And it looks like he had just enough. They're going to measure it. Must be a massive turnover on downs here. Ottawa's defense was able to hold, but Kelly's got the job done a couple of times today here in short yardage, and they've got it again.
Yeah, and I think from the Ottawa bench, I think they had a pretty good view down the line that they were starting to shuffle defensive personnel as opposed to sending offensive guys on the field. That I think they, even before the measurement happened, kind of recognized that this was going to go in the Argos' favor.
Clock ticks down inside 7.
We're good. We're good.
And once again on the ground. Ball pops out. Ottawa says they have it. And it is in the hands of Niles Morgan, but looked like Hicks was down for sure.
The ball carrier was down with contact.
He was down pretty quickly here. It wasn't like a big push.
I do admire Niles Morgan's commitment, though, to follow through and run that one all the way to the end zone.
He did take it all the way back. Just in case, Dwayne. Yeah. Just in case. Kelly, oh my goodness! Picked off again! 4th of the game, this time it's Hutter. And Ottawa's defense keeping them in this game. Chad Kelly, 4 touchdowns to go along with 4 INTs. And the Red Blacks somehow still have life in this game. To Ottawa, Dakota Shepley has been ejected from the game for picking up his second misconduct penalty. You get a look at it here after the interception. You pick up number 64 right there.
And there you see Shepley just at the top of the letter C.
That is his second one, so he's ejected from the game. The last three Toronto drives have all ended in interceptions, as Kelly's amazing day has turned into a what's going on type of day. And now Jake Maier, he's going to take off right up the middle, and he'll slide inside the 30. Less than 6 to go. They got to find Majors. That goes for 13.
And I love this. Not a big part of Jake Maier's game, but if they give it to you, you got to take it. He recognizes that to move the sticks.
Now, quickly, Gino Lewis. And he is wrapped up. Argangelo is there. They got about 9. And it'll be second and a yard.
Yeah, quick hitter here to Gino coming underneath.
Now they'll give it to Bell, and he picks his way through that defensive front, and he's got a first down for Ottawa.
Ottawa Red Blacks certainly recognizing the urgency here, but no huddle mode, conserving time on that clock, as they're going to need another possession either way.
From the Toronto 17, Maier to the end zone, misses everybody. Not sure if Keelan White was expecting that throw to the back of the end zone. Second and 10.
You see White lined up in the slot, number 3 receiver. Out to the left. Yeah, read that a little differently, I think, as the safety came over than his quarterback did.
Cam Judge being escorted off the field by the Argos training staff. Seems to be okay as he jogs off. And the clock ticks towards 4.5 minutes. Jake Maier, 22 of 34, 257, touchdown, and an interception. Has 3 receivers to his left. That's where he looks. Now he dumps it off to Bell. Bell's going to find the 10, and he's wrapped up. Great open field tackle by Darkangelo. And Bell is frustrated. He thought he had more cooking there.
And Bell looking to get in a little bit of space. Led all Canadian Football League running backs in receptions from the backfield last season.
Timeout, Ottawa.
Dinwiddie has called a timeout. It'll be 3rd and a couple of yards here to keep their hopes alive.
You see the check down to Bell. We've seen him with a couple of great cutbacks, making people miss in the ground game there, but Darkangelo does a nice job in space to contain the elusive Greg Bell on that one.
Team best 8th tackle of the game. But Darkangelo has a knockdown as well. 3rd and 3. Jake Maier trying to keep this drive alive, trying to keep their hopes in this game alive. They'll hand it off. Bell pushing it ahead, breaks some tackles and takes it down inside the 5. One of his best carries of the whole game.
Yeah, they bottled him up pretty well in the ground game, but Bell manages to slip through here at a critical time to set the Red Blacks up in a short yardage situation. Ball on the 1-yard line.
Prior to that, his longest carry had been 4 yards.
Yeah.
The whole game. That one goes for 9 and gets him down to the 1.
Now Ethan John is up and limping off the field. He's already into the game to replace Robert Priester, who left and did not return in the first half. So they're running thin in the secondary.
Yeah, a little further shuffling, fortunately, I guess, at a time where it's the short yardage team, so you can replace a defensive back with something other than another DB.
Another high-scoring affair here early, on brand for what we've seen in the league so far this season. First and goal from the Toronto 1. They'll go from the gun. Mayer, Pimpleton, incomplete. Second and goal.
You know, they had the play set up perfectly. The flaw to me was in the timing. You're going to see Pimpleton comes across the formation. You're anticipating man coverage in this part of the field. So someone trying to track Pimpleton all the way across the formation. Benji Franklin gets bumped off by another receiver. But the timing of that rush coming upfield affects Mayer's ability to lead Pimpleton where he wants to go with that football.
Second and goal from the 1. In the gun again. Mayer gets it away. And it's incomplete. Was looking for Everhart. It was a little bit behind him. What do you think of the two play calls here from the 1 yard line?
Yeah, I don't mind the play calls because I appreciate some creativity in short yardage, right? The Argos are down a couple of DBs. They've obviously got some big bodies on the field, so theoretically you can put them at a little bit of a disadvantage by trying to make them play in space with people who aren't anticipating that. I think the plays have resulted in receivers being freed up, but just Argos managing to do enough up front that it's been tough to get the ball to them.
Clock hits 3 minutes here in Ottawa. The Argos.
In Ottawa, just wanted to remind you that the Owls and the Elks and kickoff of that game, the second game of Super Saturday, is coming up in just over 20 minutes from now. We will start to set that one up as soon as this one in Ottawa is done. The Red Blacks knocking on the door.
Not over yet in the nation's capital. Ottawa trying to stay alive. Got to find the end zone here. Third and goal from the 1. They'll hand it off, pushing it towards the end zone. Is he there? Oh, it's so close.
I don't think
close. So. The Argos, though, did they stop him? It looked like Adeboboye was going to get there, and they sort of flattened him out.
Yeah, they led with the fullback Gosselin to that side. You see Adeboboye up into the line, but I don't think that line dented enough.
Ruling on the field was the ball carrier did not cross the goal line or did not break the plane of the goal line.
Yeah, like parts of his body broke the plane of the goal line, but because they had him turned backwards, by that point, the ball didn't get there.
Ball was in his stomach, and his back broke the plane, but the ball just never got there. See Dinwiddie, he's saying, no, that's a touchdown, but body was there, ball was not. Command center says that would be the reason. And the Argos, what a stop by the Toronto defense. Let's give you another look at it here, Dwayne.
Yeah, you'll see he goes in with some momentum, still pushing, but he is sort of getting turned by the contact. So his butt is across the line and has broken the plane, but the ball never did because they got him turned.
They folded him up, and now Kelly throwing in the direction of Houston, who had a read on that one, and it's incomplete. And Ottawa will get the ball back here in what we would assume will be very good field position with Pimpleton standing in midfield.
Yeah, I was going to say the bad news is the missed rather massive opportunity to put the ball in the end zone, but the silver lining to that dark cloud is that they should have a short field here following the return.
Haggerty stands in the middle of his end zone. And he is just going to run around, kill some time, concede a point. Couple points. (34-24) here in Ottawa.
Argos opting to make it a field position game. They'll give them the 2 points. It remains a 2-score football game, a 2-possession game. Eat up a little bit of time, force them to play on a longer field.
Just 2 minutes and 23 seconds left. Chad Kelly started this game on fire and then went on a stretch of 3 consecutive drives with interceptions that gave the Red Blacks some life. But they've had a hard time finding the end zone in this one. The back-to-back starts, 7 touchdowns, almost 900 yards, but the 4 interceptions today really stands out.
Yeah, it's a game that it looked like the Argos were starting to take control of in the third quarter. But the interceptions have kept the Ottawa REDBLACKS hopes alive.
Have to move quick, trailing by 10. No time to mess around. There as Bell open to his left, gives it to him, cuts it back at the 40, pushes it ahead, takes it just outside the 45. They'll give him 6 on that first down through the air.
When you're the Toronto Argonauts in this situation, you just don't want to give up big chunks. Basically force the offense to be inefficient in terms of the clock.
Quick hitter. Gino Lewis, far side, first down Ottawa as they creep towards midfield with 2:09 on the clock.
The solo receiver, top of your screen. Going to work along that sideline, knowing he wants to get out of bounds. Move the sticks, stop the clock.
Lewis, 4 catches for 47 yards this afternoon. Mayer throws it up for him again, and that's taken away. What a play on the near sideline. Benji Franklin went and got it over top of Gino Lewis. And he gave him the 2 small celly after. Turnover filled the fair. That should do it.
And as this ball is in the air, Gino Lewis is caught inside a little bit. Benji Franklin gets outside, just goes over top of him before Gino can make an adjustment. Quite frankly, Franklin adjusted better to the throw than the receiver.
Great play by Franklin. He had 4 interceptions last season. That's a highlight reel INT to start the year for him. And now Toronto will just put it back on the ground and move it ahead to the 35. Here, Jake Mayer, you're seeing Gino one-on-one out there, thinking, okay, yeah, I'll just throw it up. This is what he's made a career out of doing in this league, and he just...
Yeah, jump ball situation that just looked like Gino misjudged it a little bit. You see him trying to settle his feet, and then he's adjusts with that pivot to the outside as he's getting turned to get in position to try and go get it. Benji Franklin's going and getting it.
Yeah, not very often in that situation. You don't see Gino leave his feet to try to go get a football.
Yeah.
Let's go.
12 takeaways in 39 CFL games for Benji Franklin. And now pushed ahead just shy of the 40. Sam Hicks. And that'll be 3rd and 1. Kick it away one more time. And we're just getting rolling. Montreal, Edmonton still to come on Super Saturday. Triple header action on TSN.
Should have had T-shirts made, eh? Super Saturday.
Nice Super Saturday. I have a T-shirt press.
I actually do too.
We both have T-shirt press?
Yeah.
Wow.
We could have been making them and selling them.
Can't believe we didn't know that about each other.
Yeah.
It's fun. I like having a T-shirt.
Yeah.
It's convenient and fun. Big kick. Haggerty. Pimpleton. You got something here. No, he does not. Ball is out. Toronto's on it. Things go from bad to much, much worse.
Well, the Argo turnovers had become the story of the second half that made it a game. The Red Blacks turnovers are kind of signaling the end of the comeback.
Pimpleton just squeezed out of him as he got gang tackled on the return. And 5 turnovers on each side of this game.
Jack Cassar with the recovery. Special teams demon, linebacker turned fullback.
Ottawa, we talked about it last week, 4 turnovers. Last thing you want to do is have those turnovers. Now they got 5 in this game. 9 turnovers to start the year for Dinwiddie. He's got to be furious. There's an injured Red Black down on the field.
You know, we talked a little bit about the importance of quarterback play this season, the high level of it. But the other thing that we have talked about is sort of an identifying factor of this season, characteristic of this season, is the parity in the league. And so it makes your margin for error small.
Cormier's up and walking off.
You came in, you're the one on the replay. Oh man, I'm on the screen.
Let's watch Cassar and the hustle he's got to get to this ball. And now they'll hand it off down inside the 10. Still going, it's Hicks. That's his best carry of the ball game, goes for 24.
Yeah, you feel like that, you know, this play for Ottawa, they've hung tough. You know, done a pretty good job in the run game for most of the day. But you could just feel with the fumble on that last punt return, the air come out of Ottawa's balloons.
Back to Hicks again, nice cut, and he finds the end zone. Final nail in the coffin of the Red Blacks comes from Sam Hicks, and he's got his first career touchdown.
Back-to-back, couple nice runs from the first-year running back, Sam Hicks. Nice lateral step there, bounces it to the outside. Just manages to fight through the safety, Scott Hutter, into the end zone to close it out.
Araulahu makes it a 17-point ball game with just 70 seconds left.
2 great runs, way to close it.
Highly entertaining but somewhat sloppy affair here at TD Place.
There you see Sam Hicks closing it out. Wait for the celebration, though. Wait for the selling. Clears out the teammates a little bit.
Oh,
right?
That's intense. I don't physically think I could do that. So Toronto about to find the win column for the first time this year. Put up a great fight against Montreal. They actually surrendered 20 points to the Alouettes in the fourth quarter of the game last Friday night. So I think Argos fans have to be pretty happy with what they've seen so far. Do they like the 4 interceptions? No, but your quarterback threw 4 interceptions. You still hung 41 on Ottawa. REDBLACKS about to fall to 0-2 after a season last year where they won just 4 games. Pimpleton looking for some redemption. He can fly, no doubt about it. They're going to track him down and force him out at the 30.
Minutes to go. Now a 3-possession game, 3-possession lead for the Toronto Argonauts.
Jake Mayer on the sideline. And they'll throw Duggan in at quarterback to wrap this one.
Duggan had a stint with the Toronto Argonauts last season, released in training camp this year.
And he'll slide ahead. What'd you think of Mayer today?
There were flashes, right? You look at the connection developing between he and Aiden Eberhardt today. They had a pretty big day.
That was by far the brightest spot of the day offensively. That one in behind White, incomplete. You got to be. So they had Drew Brown. They brought in Jake Mayer. They anoint him the #1. You got to let that play out here for a bit, don't you?
Yes, you do. You do. I mean, it's a lot of turnovers, but I don't think you're really looking at Jake Mayer's game and saying he failed to take care of the football. You know, I mean, it's, as I said, the offenses are clicking at a high level this year across the league.
And that one incomplete via turnover on downs with 42 seconds left on the clock. Offenses are clicking. I mean, 65 more points here today. Coming into the week, the average had been 59 so far this season. And we always ask the question. I asked it in week 1 when I was doing a game with Suits in Calgary. You know, which side of the ball is the advantage early in the year?
Yeah.
And I mean, undoubtedly, it's been the offense so far in the CFL this year.
Yeah, and, you know, I mean, sometimes it can have to do with the fact that, I mean, neither side has a lot of film on anybody in terms of new wrinkles and so on at an early stage of the season. But it seems like the offense is the side that has been able to exploit that more, maybe throw some things at defenses they're not expecting more than the other way around. And they're able to do that again, like as we talk about short training camps and getting ready to go. A lot of times there's a feeling that the offenses need more time to get ready. But I just think that we have a level of quarterbacking and going a step further, a level of experience in quarterbacking that offenses are able to kind of jump in at a fairly high level in a short time.
And they'll let the clock run now, and Mike Miller has his first win as a head coach in the Canadian Football League in impressive fashion. 41-24, your final here in Ottawa. The REDBLACKS go to 0-2. The Argos, on the strength of 400